गोपीजन वल्लभ Sankirtan Mahayajna ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome back everyone to our second session on our ongoing series of the panca tattva of Vrindavan. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai. So yesterday we said the introduction to our seminar by discussing the glories of Shri Vrindavan Dham. We spoke about this very beautiful, wonderful Shri Vrindavan. Shri Vrindavan Dham, being the abode of Krishna, has unlimited glories. Our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas have written books and commentaries glorifying Vrindavan. So one session will not do. The glories of Vrindavan are as glorious as Krishna. Sometimes we could say even more glorious than Krishna. Why? Because Krishna left Vrindavan and went to Mathura, but Radharani did not leave Vrindavan for Krishna. She continued to live in Vrindavan, telling Krishna that if you want to come, you come, but we are not leaving Vrindavan for you. This is the glory of this land of Vrindavan. In the Brahma Samhita it is described, Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumish Chinta Mani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanamapi Vamshi Priya Sakhi Chidanandam Jyotihi Paramapi Tadaswadhyam Apicha. Lord Brahma describes this land of Vrindavan is so beautiful. Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumischinta Managanimayam Toyam Amritam Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanam Abhivamshi Priyasakhi Chidanandam Jyoti Tadaswadhyam Apicha. This land of Vrindavan is so beautiful that Shriya Kantaha Kantaha. There is one Kantaha, one master, and many Kantaha, many gopis. The word Kanta refers to Lakshmi Devi. So in Vaikuntha we find for one Narayan there is one Lakshmi. And for millions and millions of Narayanas in millions and millions of Vaikuntha expansions there are millions and millions of Lakshmis. But Vrindavan is special because for every Narayan there are millions of Lakshmis. So Shriya Kantaha, for every Krishna manifestation, Kantaha, there are millions and millions of gopis. But who is this Krishna? Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha. He is the supreme Purusha. Krishna is called Purusha, Purana Purusha, right? The word Purana Purusha means he who is described in the Puranas. It's not the word Purana in Hindi. Purana Purusha. The person who's old. He is Purana Purusha, he who is described in the Puranas. One more meaning is the word Pura means Mathura, city. And the word Ana means to bring, like in Marathi. What do you say for bringing something? Tikde aan, tikde da. If it's your child, then it's always tikde da. Hey aan, te aan. Aan in Marathi comes from the Sanskrit word. So Pura means city and Ana means to bring. So he who appeared in the city and was very quickly got from Mathura, the city, to the forest Vrindavan is Purana, Purana Purusha. Krishna is called Purana Purusha. Parama Purusha. So this verse of Brahma Samhita glorifies Vrindavan to the greatest extent. That for every Krishna manifestation there are millions and millions of gopis. And who is Krishna? Parama Purusha, the source of all Narayan. And this Vrindavan is such that Kalpataravaha. The root word is Kalpataru. When it is used in plural sense, it becomes Kalpataravaha. Kalpataravo means every tree is a wish-fulfilling desire tree. It is described in Vaikuntha, some of the trees are wish-fulfilling trees. But in Vrindavan, every tree is a wish-fulfilling tree. And they are so humble, they appear to be normal trees. So if you really want to know, Taruriva Sahishnuna are the trees of Vrindavan. Why? Because they tolerate being super extraordinary, yet acting as if they are very ordinary. This is humility and tolerance. They are so humble, they are so great, yet they convince us that they are ordinary. This is the extent of their humility. And the extent of their tolerance is such that they are all erupting in love of Godhead. But they hold all of that just to have common etiquette in society. So they are tolerating ecstasy and proving to us that they are ordinary. This is their humility and tolerance. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even in the Shikshashtakam, he doesn't remember any specific devotee of Vrindavan. He remembers Nanda Tanuja, Krishna. But then he remembers the trees of Braj. The trees of Vrindavan are supernatural. They are very special. This is the land of Vrindavan where every tree is a Kalpavriksha tree. Can I tell you a quick story? One time there was a competition between Radharani and Shri Krishna on who can make better garlands. So Matajis who make garlands, this is a very sweet garland making story. So every time you make a garland, you string a garland. Not just Matajis, if Prabhujis are making, the story is meant for you too. It's a garland story, so it's very sweet. The condition was, Radharani had to make a garland and Krishna had to make a garland. Krishna can take help from his friends, Radharani can take help from her sakhis. Whoever makes the better garland and first offers it to each other, Krishna makes and offers to Radharani, or Radharani makes and offers it to Krishna, is emerged the victorious emperor, king or queen of Braja. It is described every Brajbasi makes very, very beautiful garlands. But however, Krishna's garland is the best. If any resident of Vrindavan sees the way Krishna makes a garland, in the way the garland is made, they can say very easily that this Krishna has made. Nobody else can make. The color contrast of how Krishna picks flowers, how Krishna folds the petals in mysterious ways, how Krishna intertwines berries of different shapes and colors between those petals, how Krishna picks flowers depending on their fragrance in such a way that the fragrance of two flowers which are compatible in fragrance, in shape, in color and size should be put together, strung in a garland. Krishna also is very particular that he doesn't separate the leaves of that flower away from the petals of that flower. Like for example, you see what I'm saying? Like for example, if you have to take, let's say, a rose flower. So many times you just get rid of the stem and the little leaves that come with it. But Krishna is kind enough to know that you have been together for a long time, I will not separate you. That is the level of Krishna's garland making. So Krishna was busy finding flowers and Radharani was busy finding flowers. And the challenge was, you should not pick flowers of each other's camp. So there are flowers which belonging to Krishna's camp, and there are flowers which belong to Radharani's camp. And Radharani is allowed only to pick flowers from her camp. Of course, everything belongs to Radha and Krishna, but just to increase the rasa. So Radharani saw some beautiful flowers and she went to pick. As soon as she went to pick, Lalita Sakhi said, "Oh, don't pick those flowers." And it's interesting, actually, I'll tell you one more piece of information here. It's described that looking at Radharani, the tree started manifesting 100 times more flowers than before. Just to attract her attention, so that she will skip other trees and come straight to that tree. And as Radharani sees this tree full of flowers, she runs towards the tree without knowing that there is actually a tree between her and that tree. And she's completely lost in this opportunity to serve, that she cannot even see a full-grown tree between her and that tree. And because Vrindavan is the land of Radharani's heart and the land of devotional service, the tree moves so that Radharani can achieve her goal. How beautiful this land is. So Radharani goes to that tree. And as soon as now this is like a PowerPoint. Now in PowerPoint you pick a certain kind of design. And it will start now proposing more kinds of slides which are similar of that same design, right? This originates in Goloka Vrindavan. So Radharani looks at the tree with all these flowers, and if she touches a certain kind of flower, the tree now starts manifesting that type of pattern. Let's say if she touches a white flower with yellow spots, now the tree will only manifest white kind of flowers with yellow spots. Some yellow spots in the center, some yellow spots on the side. Some are yellow flowers with white spots, some are white flowers with yellow spots. Just to satisfy. Now if she gets even more intricate on the style, then the tree will now manifest more types, only to help her win that contest. We can't even imagine and conceive this land of Vrindavan. So when Radharani went to that tree, she felt, maybe the tree next to this tree has more flowers. So she went ahead. And what happened? One of the branch of this tree that she had previously thought of, it got stuck in one of Radharani's cloth. So she couldn't move. So Lalita Sakhi said, "Don't take flowers from this tree." So Radharani said, "Why not?" So Lalita Sakhi said, "These are flowers from Krishna Paksha." What does Krishna Paksha mean? The side of Krishna. But actually this is a play of word. Because the word Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha represent the waxing and waning of the moon. When you go from no moon to full moon, Amavasya to Purnima, this is called Shukla Paksha, or this is Radha Paksha. And then when you come back from Purnima to Amavasya, this is called Krishna Paksha. So that's the waxing and the waning of the moon. But Krishna Paksha also means the side of Krishna. Paksha means side on the camp. So when Lalita Sakhi said, "Oh, these flowers are from Krishna Paksha," so Radharani said, No, they are not from Krishna Paksha. Why would you say they are from Krishna Paksha? So Lalita Sakhi said, "Didn't you see that the branch actually held you? Which means this is from the side of Krishna." Because birds of the same feather flock together. So this is actually Krishna Paksha. This is from the side of Krishna. And the trees of Krishna are also like Krishna. They're always collecting tax from some or the other Sakhi. So now, see, you are obstructed by the branch, which means the flowers of this tree are from Krishna Paksha. Radharani said, "Hey Sakhi, Lalita Sakhi, you are so innocent." Lalita Sakhi said, "No, you are the innocent one. You don't understand." Radharani said, "No, you are the innocent this time. It is actually from Radha Paksha. It is a Shukla Paksha tree. It is from our camp." So both meanings. It is actually blossoming in the bright fortnight, and at the same time it is on our side. Lalita Sakhi said, "If that is so, why does the branch hold on to you?" Radharani said, "Because of pangs of separation. The tree has been praying here so that I come and personally pick flowers from her branch. And now when she saw that I considered her and then left and went ahead, the tree couldn't tolerate." Radharani told Lalita Sakhi, "These trees, they pray that next life they can become deer and peacocks and cows, so that at least they can walk behind Radha and Krishna. But these trees, they have to wait for the divine couple to come to them. They tolerate the pangs of separation like no other Brajvasi." Other residents of Vrindavan, they can follow the divine couple. But the trees are the only ones who are so outnumbered. Or rather, the trees are the ones who outnumber all other residents in Braja, because it's a forest. And forest means made out of trees. And they can't move. They can't run behind the divine couple because they have to be standing in one place for a specific decoration or according to the mood of Vrinda Devi's arrangement. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu remembers these trees and he says, if you want to tolerate the pangs of separation like the trees of Vrindavan. Isn't it fascinating? So this is why in the Brahma Samhita, Brahmaji says, Shriya Kantaha Kantaha Parama Purusha Kalpataravo. In this land of Vrindavan where there is one Krishna and millions of gopis headed by Radharani, every tree is a wish-fulfilling tree. Kalpataravo Dhruma Bhumish Chintamani. And every dust particle is actually a wish-fulfilling touchstone. Wish-fulfilling touchstone. This is the beautiful land of Braja. This is a land where every tree is a wish-fulfilling tree. Every particle of dust is a wish-fulfilling touchstone. Every drop of water is actually a drop of nectar. Every word is a song. Every step is a dance. And every breath is that of pure devotional service. Now the point is, in Sanskrit there is something called as Kaimutik Nyaya. Kaimutik Nyaya means Kim Uta. Like for example, if you say somebody at the age of 6, like for example, let's say there is a boy who's 20 years old. And if you say, oh, this boy when he was 6, he was chanting the whole Bhagavad Gita. So what is the implication? So at 6, if he's studying the Bhagavad Gita, left, right, center, so how much more at the age of 20? This is called Kim Uta. Kaimutik. Comes from the word Kim Uta. If this is how it is, then what to speak of? It's a higher comparison. So the point is this whole verse is in Kaimutik Nyaya. That if every tree is a wish-fulfilling tree, then imagine the wish-fulfilling tree of Vrindavan. If every particle of dust is a touchstone, then imagine the touchstones that Vrinda Devi uses. If every drop of water is nectar, then imagine the nectar that flows in Braj. If every word is a song, then think of the actual songs. If every step is dance, then think of their dancing. And when they sing and dance together in the Rasalila, then what to speak about it? Therefore it is said, Jaya Jaya Rasalila Sarva Manoram. We find in the Bhagavatam itself, every verse is sung, is it not? And that's a conversation. That's the proof that every word is a song. Every verse in Bhagavatam goes in different meters. La 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 la. It may be a philosophical point that the soul is stuck in a material body or whatever, but it is still sung. And this is the beauty of this land of Vrindavan. Very, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Therefore, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati has said, Premot kena vichintyatam vilutanai sarvangamayujyatam. He says, dear devotees, if you really want to enter this land, Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says, welcome the first tattva out of the 5 tattvas who offers blessings to a conditioned soul to enter the land. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says, it is the holy dust of Vrindavan. We are going to talk about 5 authorities who by their blessings can give us entry into this land. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Premaut kena vichintyatam vilutanai sarvangamayujyatam. That if somebody wants to enter Vrindavan, they have to take shelter of the dust of this land. This is why in ISKCON we are taught, as soon as you've seen devotees, they get off the Mathura railway station and what happens? Everyone offers obeisances. In fact, Srila Prabhupada established the Krishna Balaram Mandir in the area of Ramanreti. And Ramanreti is that place where the cow herding pastimes take place. That's the place where Prabhupada established the ISKCON Vrindavan Krishna Balaram Mandir. Therefore, Prabhupada established Krishna Balaram in the center altar. Because that area is the place of cow-herding pastimes. In fact, there is a place called as Ramandreti, specifically where devotees go and roll. Has anybody been there and rolled in that dust? Ah, very fortunate. Very, very fortunate. Devotees literally on Brajmandal Parikrama. We have seen Dinabandhu Prabhu and so many exalted Vaishnavas lead the Parikrama. And devotees, they're just rolling in that dust. It's soft sand. Very sweet, wonderful place. This dust has been glorified profusely. Profusely. In the 8th chapter of the 10th canto, we find the section where Krishna eats dirt. Krishna eats dirt. Now please tell me, does anybody in the temple or at home offer dust to Krishna? We don't, right? Does anybody do it? No. Do you think Mother Yashoda or Radharani will ever cook dust for Krishna? No. They will never. Shastra describes the level of cooking that Krishna tastes. It is described early in the morning. Radharani enters the kitchen by the permission of Rohini Devi. Rohini Devi is the one who welcomes Radharani. And Radharani enters the kitchen, and before she tries to enter, she has her sakhis who wash her lotus feet with fragrant water. Before Radharani gets to the kitchen to cook for Krishna, Radharani's lotus feet are washed with fragrant water. And as she enters, her sakhis come behind her. If she turns left, they turn left. If she turns right, they turn right. It is described the sakhis of Radharani follow Radharani like the ducklings follow the mother. Has anybody seen the ducklings following the mother? Yeah, complete Sharanagati, complete surrender. And as Radharani enters, Rohini Devi provides multiple items. She first provides the menu, the cuisine that has to be made. She provides the ingredients. She provides the utensils, and she provides a very wonderful place. But then it is described, this is what she gives all sakhis. But for Radharani, she says, well, you can do whatever you want. So Radharani can sit wherever she wants, can pick any ingredient that she wants, and she can cook whatever she wants. And as Radharani starts to cook, Yashoda Devi comes there. And she says, no, Radharani will not cook in normal firewood. All sakhis cook in normal firewood, but Radharani cooks in sandalwood. Sandalwood. Can you imagine? When Radharani uses sandalwood and sets it on fire for cooking, the whole kitchen has the aroma of sandalwood. Isn't it so beautiful? In the core of our heart, we can think Srimati Radharani in the kitchen cooking for Krishna. And then it is described, as she starts to cook, she's so meticulous in her cooking, Srimati Radharani. And she's grave. She doesn't speak a word. Therefore, in the Vedic tradition, when someone cooks, they don't speak a word. Even till this very day in Sripad Vallabhacharyaji's Sampradaya, you can find cloth on the mouth. You can speak. Complete meditation. Complete meditation in the cooking process. It is described Radharani cooks for Krishna with so much meditation, like a Brahmana chanting his Gayatri mantras. Imagine a Brahmana chanting his mantras and offering oblations into the fire. What focus? Of course, in Kali Yuga, everything is gone for a toss. One devotee was telling me about his marriage. I said, what happened? He said, Hamara to shadi hua nahi theek se. I said, why? What happened? He said, the day we got married, that devotee was telling me, he said, the day we got married, India-Pakistan match was going on. So that Pujari on one hand, he is offering something in the fire and he has a radio commentary. He said in the middle, he forgot the mantra because there was a 4 that was hit. He said, under such circumstances, I got married. So I said, what is the result? He said, you're seeing. I was visiting somewhere, he said, 3 days you're seeing. India-Pakistan is only going on here. So in Kali Yuga, the dynamics are different. But in Shastra, it is described, Radharani, when she cooks for Krishna, the meditation is like a Brahmana chanting his Gayatri mantras during a fire sacrifice. Then it is described, Radharani starts to cook. And first she starts cooking all the sweets. There are 20 different preparations of sweets. There are sweets that Radharani has made out of coconut. Sweets that she has made out of cream. Sweets that she has made out of milk and sugar. Sweets that she has made out of rock candy. It is described some preparations that Radharani has made are in the shape of kadamba flowers. Some sweets that Radharani has made, they taste like lotus. It is described some preparations of Radharani have no comparison. The only comparison is they are like powdered moonlight. Digest that. Radharani is making a sweet for Krishna which tastes like powdered moonlight. Think about powdered moonlight. Quite exciting. And who's going to check how she has made? There's Madhumangal looking through the window of the kitchen. And he's looking what's being made. And Mother Yashoda has to tell him, you don't, look first. It's for Krishna. You go. Don't look here. He'll say, I'm going to go and tell Krishna what is being cooked. And then after that, Radharani starts picking seasonal fruits. And she makes the most beautiful, wonderful, tasty fruit juices and beverages. When Radharani cooks rice and sabji, the aroma of that preparation that's described can break the meditation of the four Kumaras. As Radharani cooks all this and she makes it ready, Mother Yashoda comes and looks over all the preparation. She's very confident about Radharani's cooking, but it's her maternal instinct which takes over. And Mother Yashoda looks through all the preparation. It's described like a general supervises his troops before an army. Think about it. Just like a general looks through his troops before an army, that's how meticulously Mother Yashoda looks through all the preparation. And by then Krishna's already making funny sounds of hunger, sitting with Madhumangal. So all that preparation goes to Krishna. And as Krishna's sitting there on his dining table to sit and accept this meal, he looks through all of this. And there are preparations of different shapes, sizes, colors, and tastes. And Krishna has a dilemma. What is the dilemma? How can I eat something that looks so beautiful? Have you ever had the dilemma of eating a cake which is very beautiful to look at? You feel the pain to cut that cake. Yet at the same time, you can't live without eating it. So Krishna is in a dilemma between his tongue and his eyes. How can he eat something that looks so beautiful? Yet at the same time, how can he resist something that is so inviting? So Krishna doesn't know what to do. And he can't tell Mother Yashoda his situation. So Mother Yashoda tells Krishna, stop talking to Madhumangal and you better eat your meal. But Krishna's still in this predicament. And Mother Yashoda, Krishna can't tell this to Mother Yashoda because it's been prepared by his most beloved devotee, Srimati Radharani. This is why, dear devotee, Srila Prabhupada said the kitchen is Radharani's kitchen. And we are cooking as maidservants of Radharani for the pleasure of Krishna. So Krishna is looking at all the preparation. He doesn't know whether to eat or not. Should I not eat because it looks so beautiful, or should I eat because it's so tempting? Then Radharani gives an ultimatum. She says, if you don't eat, then Radha, who has come, Mother Yashoda is saying this to Krishna, that Krishna, if you don't eat, then Sri Radha, who has walked all the way just to cook, I will tell her never to come again. And why should she come if this is how you treat her cooking? And then it's described. Krishna invokes that same energy by which he eats millions and millions of preparations in the form of deities every single day. He invokes that energy into him. And with both his hands, he starts feeding himself. And Madhumangal attacks the sweets first. And it's described, Madhumangal puts one sweet and then takes his hand on his armpit and starts snapping. and makes funny sounds to say that this sweet is well made. And then he does this on the other hand, and if the sweet is very nice, he goes like this. And in this way, Krishna is very beautifully enjoying this meal. Hari Leela Eka Matra Jahar Pramoda Bhoga Arati Gaye Thakur Bhakati Vinoda. Bhakati Vinod Thakur has seen this pastime. This pastime. So this is the level of feeding Krishna. Then still Krishna sits in seclusion. Krishna mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayam. Although Krishna is fed such super excellent tasty preparation, what is the need? Our acharyas ask this question. What is the need for Krishna to sit in seclusion and eat the dust of braj? There is only one reason, dear devotees. Krishna is teaching all of us this principle. That this land of Vrindavan is the land where the dust of the lotus feet of pure Vaishnavas are found. Can you imagine Vrindavan is such a great land where every resident is a Jagat Guru? In this world we know one Srila Prabhupada. Can you imagine every resident of Goloka Vrindavan is capable enough of being a Jagat Guru? Brahmanda tarite shakti dhare jane jane. Every person in Goloka Vrindavan has the power to deliver millions of universes. Therefore, the path to enter Goloka Vrindavan is not by foot, but on the head. We can't enter Goloka Vrindavan on our legs. It is on the head, in humility. Krishna is teaching us this land of Vrindavan is the land of Jagat Gurus. This is the land where the dust of the lotus feet of millions and millions of pure Vaishnavas are found. Krishna is teaching us, I accept your roti sabji dal rice because you are offering with love. But if you ask me what I actually like to eat in seclusion, away from all obligation, I simply like to chew the dust of the lotus feet of my pure devotees. I don't want anything else. This is why Krishna performs the Mridabhakshan Leela. Ekada krida manaste ramadhya gopadaraka Krishna mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayan. Shukdev Goswami describes who's the one who went and complained to Mother Yashoda that Krishna is sitting and eating dirt? Balaram. Krishna took his revenge. We'll see how. Krishna was determined that he wants to eat the dust of braj. He was determined. Jai Shri Radha Neelamata. Krishna was determined that he wants to eat the dust of braj. Balaram caught him. Balaram caught Krishna eating dust. He said, now I will go and complain. You always land me in trouble, now I will land you in trouble. Because every time when Krishna makes a mistake, the punishment is to the older brother, to Balaram. If Krishna makes a mistake, Mother Yashoda chastises Balaram because you are supposed to train him. In the absence of the parent, you are the parent. So Balaram cannot play with Krishna because if he plays with Krishna, then Krishna will tell his parents that he was hand in glove. And at the same time, if Balaram becomes like the parent in the absence of the parents, then he misses the fun. So Balaram's situation is very precarious. He's between Vatsalya and Sakhya. So he has to manage both. So Balaram always gets the stick because of Krishna being mischievous. Now Krishna is mischievous. Balaram said, I want to show Mother Yashoda that he doesn't listen to me. So he took the case to Mother Yashoda. Krishna saw this. Krishna said, now I will eat more. If you try to stop me, I will eat more, but in a way that Balaram will not be able to catch. But for that, I need the help of Brahma. Brahma, when you were born on the lotus and you didn't know what to do, I was the one who played the flute and helped you. Now I need help, Brahma, you have to help me. Brahmaji said, what should I do? Krishna said, steal all my calves. Brahmaji said, what will happen by that? Krishna said, you see my pastime. You don't ask me questions. You just do. So Brahmaji stole all Krishna's calves. Krishna became those calves. Krishna became those cowherd boys for 1 whole year. That time Krishna ate dust once. and Balaram caught. Now as the calves to these cows, Krishna ate dust of Braja for one whole year. And Balaram couldn't catch. After one whole year, Balaram is seeing these cows have super excellent love for these calves. Newborn calves are there, and the mother cow is neglecting and running behind another calf. And the gopis, motherly gopis, have super excellent love suddenly, overnight, for their cowherd boys. Balaram started speaking to Krishna. Don't you think something is fishy? Krishna said, where? He said, look, these cows, they are showing as much love to these calves as much as they have for you. Krishna said, yes, I think something is fishy. The root of the fish incarnation, fishy. Matsya Avatar, Meena Sharira, is the one who's expanded. By the time Balaram got to know it was Krishna, it was one whole year. Balaram said, why didn't you tell me? Krishna said, one time I told you that I'm eating dust, you went and complained. Imagine if you get to know one whole year I'm only eating dust. I'm chewing the grass, and with the grass comes the dust. And that is what Krishna likes to eat in Vrindavan. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, the very famous story of Sakshi Gopal is found in Madhya Lila. We all know the story, so we wouldn't mention the story. But it's interesting how Krishna walks all the way in the form of a deity to give his witness in a marital proposal. Kaviraj Goswami describes Brahmanya Dev Gopalar Mahima Ei Dhanya Nityananda Vaktajar Shrota Sri Chaitanya. That this pastime is so exalted that Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Vakta, Nityananda Prabhu is speaking and Shrota Sri Chaitanya and Mahaprabhu is listening. Now please tell me, two renunciants, Nitai and Chaitanya, why will they discuss a marital story? They are not discussing a marital story. Kaviraj Goswami very clearly says their focus is Brahmanya Dev Gopalera Mahimaya Dhanya. The main point of their discussion is how much Krishna loves the devotees, that he is ready to walk behind them to give witness. Now we will say, what has that to do with the dust? One very exalted Acharya, he writes that Krishna performed this pastime only to prove one verse from Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, Krishna says, in fact, we'll just backtrack a bit. In the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Krishna, Param Pavitram Bhavan. You are the purest. And Krishna accepts, yes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna accepts, I am the purest. But in the Bhagavatam, he says where that purity comes from. He says, Nirapeksham munim shantam nirvairam samadarshinaha anuvrajamyaham nityam puyayityangrirenubihi. He says, when my pure devotees walk, the dust that comes from their lotus feet gets smeared on my body, and this is how, O Arjuna, I become pure. Just to prove this point, Gopal as the deity was ready to walk behind the pure Vaishnava, so that the dust from his lotus feet can be sprinkled on the body of the Lord, and the Lord who loves to eat the dust of Braj, roll in the dust of Braj, considers himself to be pure by the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees. Very great exalted Brajvasi poet Ras Khan, he was actually from a Muslim background. Glorifying the dust of Braja, Ras Khan ji in Braj Bhasha he writes, Dhuri bhare ati shobhit sham ju kaisi bani sir sundar choti khelat khat phire angana pag painjani bajdi piri kachoti ya chhavi ko ras khani bilokat varat kam kalani di koti खाग के बाग बड़े सजनी हरि हाथ से ले गयो माखन रोटी. Raskhan ji writes, oh dear friends, he's calling all of us and he says, what is Vrindavan? Dhuri bhare ati shobhit sham ju kaisi bani sir sundar choti. Krishna in Vrindavan as a baby, dhuri bhare, his whole body is filled with the dust of Braj. Dhuri means dhuli. Dhuri bhare ati shobhita shamaju. Krishna looks so beautiful with just a braja all over his body. Dhuri bhare ati shobhita shamaju kaisi bani sir sundar choti. Aha, how beautifully Mother Yashoda has tied Krishna's hair into a bun. Head bun on the top knot. And what does he do? Khelat khat phire angana. He is running around in his own courtyard, sometimes playing and sometimes eating from his hand. So Krishna was told by Mother Yashoda, you should finish your makhan and roti. So Mother Yashoda has given him some roti and some makhan, some butter to eat. But at the same time, Krishna's friends are calling him to play, so Krishna doesn't know what to do. So he says, I cannot displease those in Sakhya. I cannot displease those in Vatsalya. Because I am Akhila Rasamrita Murti. Let me do both. So he picks up the roti with one hand and has makhan in the middle, flowing between his fingers. He has makhan and he has roti here. And khelat khat phire angana. He is running around in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj, sometimes eating and sometimes running. And pag panjani bajati piri kachoti, with a yellow cloth, dhoti cloth. Krishna is running around. Little Krishna with little yellow dhoti, with a hair tied on the top, and ankle bells, very beautiful, on his lotus feet. Dhuri bhare ati shobhit shamaju kaisi bani sir sundar choti. Khelat khat phire angana pag panjani bajati piri kachoti. As Krishna is running, should we look at him? Or should we see him play? Or should we see him eat? Or should we hear his ankle bells? Ya chavi ko raskhani vilokat. Raskhanji writes, looking at this form, varat kam kalanidhi koti. Millions and millions of cupids have fallen flat onto the ground looking at the beauty of Bal Gopal. Raskhanji writes, and as I am seeing what is happening, Kag means crow. Kag ke bhag bade sajni hari haath se le gayo makan roti. काग के भाग बड़े सजनी हरि हाथ से ले गयो माखन roti. All glories to the fortune of the crow of Braj, which is stealing this makhan roti from the hands of Gopal as he's playing with his friends. This is the beauty of Krishna. So now I want to say the whole couplet. Please hear to this very attentively. Dhuri bhare ati shobhit shamaju kaisi bani sir sundar choti. Khelat khat phire angana pag panjani bajati piri kachoti. Ya chavikor sikhani vilokat varat kam kalanidhi koti. Kag ke bhag bade sajni hari haath se le gayo makhan roti. This is Krishna in Braj. Completely covered by the dust. In the Mukundmala Stotra, Kulshekhar ji has said something fascinating about Krishna. He says, Prithvi Renu Anu Payamsi Kanika Phalgus Pulingo Lagus Tejo Nishwasanam Marut Tanutaram Randram Susukshmam Nabha Kshudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhritaya Kita Samastha Sura Drishte Yatra Satarako Vijayate Shripada Dhuli Kana. Kulshekhar ji writes, Kulshekhar Alvar in the Mukundamala Stotra, he writes, once I have seen the dust at the lotus feet of Krishna, not the lotus feet, having seen Drishte Yatra Satarako Vijayate Shripada Dhuli Kana, having seen the dust at the sole of the Lord's lotus feet, this is my realization, he is writing. Prithvi Renu Anu Payamsi Kanika, whole of earth looks like one small atomic particle. Having seen the dust of the lotus feet of Narayana in Vaikuntha, not Krishna in Braj, seeing the dust at the lotus feet of Narayana in Vaikuntha, Kulshekhar writes, The dust is so power potent that the whole of Mother Earth looks like one atomic particle. Payamsi kanika, phalgus pulingo lagus. All the water body looks like some water droplets that the baby sprinkles. That's how the whole water body in the whole of creation looks like compared to the dust at the lotus feet of Vishnu. And Tejo Nishwasanam, the whole fire element in the whole world looks like one spark at the end of a lamp. And Marutanutaram, the breeze, the cyclone, the tornado that is seen in this world looks like one sigh. That's how it looks like. Kulishekar right. Tanutaram and Randhram Susukshmam Madha. The whole sky looks like a rat hole. That's how insignificant it looks. And Kshudra Rudra Pitamaha Prabhritaya Kita Samasthasura. Demigods headed by Lord Brahma look like crawling insects on the floor. Hare Krishna. I am not saying this. I'm just repeating as it is. Kulishekar writes, this is how great the dust at the lotus feet of Narayana in Vaikuntha is, that the whole of Mother Earth looks like one atomic speck. The whole of water content looks like the droplets and the fingertips of a baby. The fire element looks like a spark at the tip of a lamp. The air content is like one exhalation. And all the demigods, they are like insignificant crawling insects. This is the greatness of the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Can you imagine that Lord in his full potency is sitting in seclusion eating the dust of Vrindavan? This land of Vrindavan has the dust of the lotus feet of Mother Yashoda, has the dust of the lotus feet of Sridham, Sudam, Vasudam, Kinkini, Stoka, Krishna, all the friends. This land of Vrindavan has the dust of the lotus feet of the Gopas, of the Gopis, of Srimati Radharani. To get this dust on their head, Uddhava says, Asam aho charana renu jushamaham syam vrindavane kimapi kulmalataushadhina. I am ready to become one shrub in Vrindavan, one creeper in Vrindavan, actually one blade of grass in Vrindavan if I can get the dust on my head, the dust of Vrindavan. Brahmaji, in fact, before we go there, Uddhava also says, Vande Nandavrajastrinam Pada Renum Abhikshashaha. He's not even using in Bahuvachan. Renum means one dust speck in singular usage. Vande Nandavrajastrinam Pada Renum Abhikshashaha. I bow down repeatedly, not to the dust particles, but dust particle in singular usage at the lotus feet of the Brajvasis. Why? Yasam harikathodgitam punati bhuvanatrayam. Can you imagine when our spiritual master comes, we want to wash the lotus feet and drink that water. Imagine all the spiritual masters, all the Rasik Vaishnavas of the whole Sampradaya, starting from Mahaprabhu, Rup Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, everybody is in one place. And they're just walking around. We will just be rolling in that dust. We will be rolling in that dust. Brahmaji is ready to become 4 mountains, hilltops in Barsana, only to get the dust of Vrindavan on his head. Kita janma ho yatha tuvadas, bahir mukha brahma janmi nahi as. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am ready to become Brahma if it is Brahma who wants to become dust in Vrindavan. Otherwise, that Brahma who's creating, I don't want to be him. I prefer to be that Brahma who becomes the 4 heads in Barsana, just to be the dust. Prahlad Maharaj has said, Naisham matirtavaduru kramangrim mahiyasam padarajobhishekam nishkinchananam na vranita yavat. 7th canto Bhagavatam. Prahlad Maharaj says, the only way by which we can advance spiritually is by taking the foot dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnavas on our head. Thakura Vaishnava pada avanira sampada suno bhayam hoye ekaman. Narottam Das Thakur has also said, only by taking the foot dust of pure Vaishnavas on our head can we make advancement. There is no other way. This is why in traditional Vedic culture, when you see senior Vaishnavas, what do? Many times in Yatra we can see His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Chandramouli Maharaj, His Holiness Devamrit Swami Maharaj. Senior Vaishnavas will walk, and then all of us there, they will collect leaves behind. They will say, Maharaj walked on this leaf. I remember one time, one devotee, I was with him in Vrindavan. So, one very exalted Prabhupada disciple walked. And this devotee friend of mine, he picked up, and it was a stone. I said, what are you going to do with this stone? He said, that Maharaj walked on this stone. I said, what are you going to do with this? He said, I will keep it on my head. I will put it in my pocket. Stone meaning it was made out of mud, but it was thick. So he put it in his pocket. Now, wherever he traveled, he had that with him. I said, what are you doing? He said, no, whenever I feel spiritually I need some nourishment, I put it on my head. The dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. Very, very powerful. Jaya Jaya Radhanama Vrindavana Jaradhama Krishna Sukha Vilasira Nidhi Heno Radha Gunagana Na Shunile Morakana Vanchita Karila More Vidhi. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, this land of Vrindavan is so great that even Krishna, the Lord of creation, rolls in this dust to get the dust of the feet of pure Vaishnavas. This is how great it is. Therefore, Radhika Charana Ashray Je Kore Se Mahashay Taramui Jay Balihari. Radhika Charana Renu Bhushana Kariya Tanu Anaya Se Pave Giridhari. Narottam Das Thakur says the way to attract Krishna is simply smear your body with the dust of pure Vaishnavas. Bas, don't worry, Krishna will walk behind you. This is the power. So when you go to Vrindavan, take the dust and apply it on the body. Now Mother Nature, Maya Devi, she will trick. You know what she has done? That soft dust of Vrindavan, which has been sprinkled by the lotus foot dust of so many sadhus doing parikrama, Maya Devi has covered that with cement, covered that with bricks, covered that with traffic, covered that with all kinds of filth, so that we, who can freely get the dust of the lotus feet of so many Vaishnavas, are bereft of that opportunity to make advancement. By making buildings after buildings, what happens? All that sewage comes out, all the cement comes out, we can see tar, cars are going through, cars from Ghaziabad and Noida and Delhi and Agra are all coming, and then cars are passing, so you feel embarrassed even to take that dust. Like, is it Vrindavan dust or did that stick to the vehicle from Ghaziabad? Maya Devi cuts through our fundamental faith. Therefore, dear devotees, when we go to Vrindavan, please make it a point. Go to pristine places in Vrindavan, which are still not habited by material life, and roll in that dust. This is our great fortune to make advancement. This is our great fortune to make advancement. Yo Brahma Rudra Shukha Narada Bhishma Mukhyai Alakshito na Sahasa Purushasya Tasya Sadhyo Vashi Karana Churna Mananta Shaktim Tam Radhika Charana Renu Manusmarami. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says that Krishna, who cannot be even seen by the 12 Mahajans and the Navayogendras, that Krishna can be controlled. Just like sometimes you can see an intoxicated mad elephant. You have a mahout sitting behind who has like a goad, elephant goad, and he locks that to the ear of the elephant. So if the elephant is going astray, he will pull. Then the elephant knows to behave himself. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati says Krishna is that intoxicated maddened elephant whose darshan even demigods cannot have. But if you want to control that elephant, just sprinkle some dust from the lotus feet of the gopis on him and he will be controlled. So if Krishna is aspiring for the dust of Vrindavan, what to speak of you and me? This is the first tattva out of the 5 tattvas who give us entry into Shri Vrindavan Dham. Braj Raj, Braj Dhuli. What is that thing that keeps us in this world? Rajogun. Just like one thorn can cut another thorn, what keeps us in this world is Raj, Rajogun. And what can take us out of this world is Raj, the dust of Raj. One Raj, which means Rajogun, keeps us in this world, and another Raj is fighting to take us out of this world. The dust of Vrindavan is also called Raj. Just like Rajogun is called Raj. When Trinavarta comes into Vrindavan, it is described, Krishna became exceedingly heavy. So Mother Yashoda put Krishna aside. Because if Krishna was on the lap of Mother Yashoda, what to speak of Trinavarta? Even Nanda Maharaj cannot pick him. Because Krishna loves to be in the lap of his mother. So even when Nanda Maharaj says, Krishna will say, no, Maya. Then what to speak of Trinavarta? Does Trinavarta have the power and the audacity to take Krishna from the lap of Mother Yashoda? That's too much. Rasa bhasa hoye jadi siddhanta virodh, sahite na pare prabhu mane kare krodh. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes if rasa is broken, Mahaprabhu becomes angry. So this is ras, virodh. Mother Yashoda, exalted devotee, Krishna the Supreme Lord, and between the two comes a Trinavarta? Not possible. So there must be separation first. So therefore Krishna becomes super exceedingly heavy and Mother Yashoda puts him down so that Trinavarta can pick. Now in this section, our acharyas describe, Trinavarta picked Krishna and took Krishna to very great height. Very great height. But Krishna choked him and Trinavarta fell to a rock. It's described Trinavarta fell on a rock. And our acharyas describe Krishna became heavy for Mother Yashoda, so Mother Yashoda put him down. But when Trinavarta picked, Krishna became very light, so that Trinavarta can carry Krishna. It was Krishna's desire on the lap of Mother Yashoda that he wanted to fly like the birds. So Brinda Devi, Purnamasi Devi made the arrangement for Trinavarta to come. And Trinavarta took Krishna to a great height where he could fly and feel, Maya, look, I am flying. But servant means serving according to Krishna's desire, not according to our desire. This is the principle of service. Trinavarta served Krishna till this point and Krishna did not kill him. Now is a point where Trinavarta starts serving Krishna according to his whims and fancies. Takes Krishna even higher, beyond the point that Krishna as a child can take. He got scared and he didn't want that height. And now on the pretext of serving, Trinavarta was going against the desire of Krishna, and this is demoniac. Just because I like to do some kind of service and I will do that, even if it displeases my spiritual master and the parampara, I will do it. This is the mentality of Trinavarta. Till the time Trinavarta was serving for Krishna's desire, Krishna did not choke him. Now Krishna became so heavy. When Trinavarta went higher and higher, Krishna became very heavy. Very heavy. And Trinavarta, the last thought he had was, oh my God, this is a mountain. And according to Bhagavad Gita, yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajyatante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sadatad bhava bhavita. What you think at the time of death is what you will achieve. Trinavarta, the last thought he had was that of a rock. And he fell straight to the rock. Krishna slammed Trinavarta on the rock to show this one principle of Bhagavad Gita. What you remember at the time of death is what you will achieve. Because Trinavarta saw Krishna like a rock, heavy like a rock. That was his last thought. He was slammed on the rock. In this section, my Guru Maharaj was explaining. Trinavarta can be called a devotee, is it not? Because he is prioritizing Krishna in his life. But actually not so true. The way he got Krishna for himself is by throwing dust in the eyes of the Vaishnavas. Trinavarta came like a whirlwind, and whirlwind means spreading the dust around. To get Krishna's service for ourselves, if we go around throwing dust in the Vaishnava community, in the eyes of the Vaishnavas, that is Trinavarta mentality. Is everybody catching this point? Yes. Now you may think why we are talking about this here. Trinavarta had an opportunity to take advantage of that dust of Braj. But instead of using it for himself, he threw that dust in the eyes of the Vaishnavas. As a result of which, what happened? Although he had Krishna for himself, dear devotees, the principle is, a Vaishnava may be seen to have a lot of empowerment for some time. Like Trinavarta had a lot of empowerment. He carried Krishna for himself. A whole of Vrindavan was watching. But if to get to that service of Krishna, we throw dust in the eyes of the Vaishnavas, which means give them displeasure. Trinavarta literally did that as a whirlwind. He threw dust in the eyes. So if we spread rumors in a Vaishnava community, backstab devotees, talk from one end to another, gossiping, criticizing, this is throwing dust in the eyes of the Vaishnavas, like how Trinavarta did. It's possible that we may rise up the spiritual ladder for some time, like how Trinavarta did. But Krishna will make sure that he will choke the spiritual life of such a devotee and get him back to the dust. Therefore, Prabhupada said, don't be shocked by how many leave. Be surprised by how many stay. So Trinavarta had the opportunity to take advantage of that dust. But instead of taking that dust for himself, he threw that dust on others. He didn't get Krishna and he didn't get any upliftment. Sripad Harisuriji writes in this regard, my Guru Maharaj explains, that when Trinavarta came, two things happened. The dust was spread around and there was darkness because it's a whirlwind. As a result, Krishna was not to be seen. Darkness in Sanskrit is called tamas or tamogun. And dust all over the place is called raja or rajogun. When rajogun and tamogun increase in the life of a devotee, Krishna will disappear. This is why Krishna disappeared. Dust was all over the place and that is rajogun, raj. And darkness was everywhere, that is tamogun. So that Trinavarta who was spreading dust around, raja or rajogun, and creating darkness everywhere, that is tamogun, he teaches all of us that if rajogun and tamogun increase, even if it is Vrindavan, you will not be able to see Krishna. But however, if you take advantage of the dust and smear it on your body, the dust from the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, then we will make advancement. Jada Bharat also in the 5th canto, he says, Rahuganaita tapasana yati, na chejaya nirvapanat grihadva, na chandasa naiva jalagni suryo, vina mahat pad rajo vishekam. Jada Bharat tells the king Rahugana, it is not by studying the Shastra, it is not by being brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra, it is not by the austerity. It is not by anything that Krishna is pleased. If you really want to conquer the heart of Krishna, vina mahat pad rajo vishekam, there is no other way, no other way, no other way than taking the dust of the lotus feet of your Vaishnavas on the head. Bhakta pada dholi ar bhakta pada jal, bhakta bhukta avashesh tini mahabali. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the dust of the lotus feet of pure Vaishnavas is what conquers the heart of Krishna and nothing else. So we will say, well, should I just walk around taking the dust from everybody's feet? This is good, definitely good, but there is a deeper meaning. Where is the dust of pure Vaishnavas collected? On the path that they walk in life. Please note, Vaishnavas walk two paths, one with their feet and one the path of their life. The intentions, the ideals, the teachings, the lessons, the philosophy, the viewpoint, the instructions of pure Vaishnavas are the path that they walk. And if we follow that, we will get the dust of their feet. So to be obedient to senior Vaishnavas and to take dust from their lotus feet. These are the two meanings of smearing the dust. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari. So this was the first tattva. So tomorrow we will discuss two tattvas, and day after tomorrow we will discuss two tattvas. We have done till now two sessions. Session number 1 was the glory of Vrindavan. Session number 2 was the first entry point into the Holy Land. So tomorrow 2 more empowered personalities who can open the gates for Vrindavan. And day after tomorrow 2 more. So if we collect the blessings of these 5 personalities, we can physically and spiritually enter the land of Vrindavan. Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande. I didn't take any questions yesterday. If there are any questions or comments or corrections or inputs or suggestions, any mistakes that I may have made, senior Vaishnavas can kindly correct.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dhanvatna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the very great and fulfilling lecture.
Can we increase the volume of the microphone?
Yep, I'll speak closer.
Yes.
Thank you for the lecture, Prabhu, and very fulfilling. I felt initially I was not coming, then I think I sat for some time and then almost sat for the whole hour or more than that. And thank you for that. Prabhu, I have one question, and I was seeing while you were speaking the bhav which was on your face and everything. I was seeing that a lot of fulfillment or a lot of joy was coming out of it, and I could feel that. Whereas if I compare, though I'm nowhere anywhere like that, but I see that I have almost negative interest for anything, or I'm not feeling that pleasure which I could see from your face. So how to develop that? If you can give just one drop of the thing which you are having in your heart, or if you can give tips on how to do that.
Definitely I don't have it, first point. But our scriptures describe that Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shrunvatam ye nirvishya karana vivarai haratom gatapam rupam drisham drishimatam akhilartha labham tvayachyuta vishati chittam apatrapam me. That Rukmini never saw Krishna, but she fell in love with Krishna just by hearing about Krishna. So the path to feel affection for the Supreme Lord starts by hearing about Him every day, 1. 2, chanting His holy names, and 3, associating with those who are like-minded. Anaradhya radham padambhoj renum anashritya vrinda tavi tat padankam asambhasha tadbhava gambhira chittan kuthashama sindho rasasyavaga. Srila Raghunath Das Goswami has said these 3 things. That without taking shelter of a Vaishnava community, without hearing and chanting about Krishna, and without sincerely praying with all our heart, who is that person who has drowned ever in the ocean of affection for Krishna? So these are the 3 points. You can come associate with the devotees here. 1, every day chant Krishna's names and every day hear about Krishna. Then it invokes Krishna's mercy. And then when Krishna starts showering his mercy and pulling you towards his lotus feet, who can stop?
And how to develop that interest, or doing that, these 3 things also, we need to have that interest to do that. And how to develop that interest to...
Initially, when a child is young, he has no interest in doing homework. And children here can confirm that. They have no interest. But the mother will force them, or the father will force them. And these children, only when they grow up, they will get into doctoral programs, PhD programs. The mother will say, get married. And the child will say, after my PhD, after my postdoc. The mothers, in the childhood, the mother is saying study and the child is saying no because of lack of taste. But because he's been doing it for such a long time, now the mother is saying stop. And the child says, let me study 1 more year. Why? The taste has developed. Because of abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagya. Krishna is saying two things, abhyas and vairagya. Keep away from negative things and practice doing the positive even if there is no taste. Initially, we have to do it like the child does his homework, out of duty. We have to keep our chanting, our hearing, our reading, our association. Initially, it may be mechanical, it may be boring, no problem. It's like a medicine we take. Pitto patapta rasana, kintu adarad anudinam, Rupa Goswami says, with respect and every day. Practice this, even if there is no taste. And very soon that taste will develop.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thanks for your blessings.
I really want to thank you and congratulate you for the sincerity in your questions. Many times questions are asked for multiple reasons. One, either to show the assembly how much, or to show the assembly how little the speaker, or just to have some presence on the microphone. But when Prabhuji asked his questions, it was the heart speaking. So I sincerely pray to Radha Neela Madhav, may your heart become the playground for their mercy. Any other questions or comments? There is one hand here. Another sincere devotee.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'm shy to ask the question now. I don't know which category I will fall. So one clarification I want to get is yesterday's lecture. One of the qualifications to enter Vrindavan is we have to consider glorification is poison. But as
self-glorification. Our glorification is poison.
As a neophyte, I have observed, I was told, observe, we try to glorify other devotees, try to show, it's initially we train ourselves, even though it doesn't come. So that's why I'm confused. How do we control being as a poison versus how do we glorify the other devotees? How do we make that balance?
See, there are different ways to see this. When someone glorifies us and we are not able to see the hand of other senior Vaishnavas, then it is certainly to be considered as poison. But when our consciousness is pure enough and every opportunity where someone glorifies us, we are convinced and we can see how senior Vaishnavas have helped us, then that situation becomes nectar because it gives us an opportunity to glorify them. So till the time that is not developed, we should consider it to be poison. And we should genuinely practice. Even if we don't feel like, we should be able to give it to our spiritual master. But if we actually think about sincerely, we will understand that whatever we are receiving today is because somebody prayed for us. Somebody worked on us. Like if you see, an ant can never touch the moon. Have you ever seen an ant touch a moon? Is it possible? Is it possible for the ants to ever touch the moon? Yes, if that ant is on the body of Lord Shiva. Because the moon is on the head. The crescent moon is on the head of Lord Shiva. So if the ant is on the body of Lord Shiva and is able to touch the moon, and if somebody says, you are the first ant who has ever touched the moon, there are two ways. Either the ant can become falsely proud, which is ignorance, or it is just common sense, natural logic to say, well, it happened because I am on the body of Lord Shiva. So similarly, we are like those ants. We will never have been able to get the fortune of singing Namo Radhikaya Tvadiya Priyaya Namo Ananta Leelaya Devaya Tubhyam with a ghee lamp in our hand in front of the Lord. It is because Vaishnavas of the caliber of Lord Shiva have accepted us in the parampara. The beads that we have today, the chanting beads, it has been 500 150 years of crying and weeping and blood and sweat coming down the sampradaya for us to receive the beats that we receive today. Rupa Goswami, Shyamananda Prabhu, Narottam Das Thakur, Lokanath Goswami, Bhugarbha Goswami, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the struggle they have gone up to Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Maharaj. It is astonishing how much in the last 550 years from one generation to another, struggle has been only to hand over our bead bag. If we can be mindful of this fact, there is no question of pride. We are like ants in the body of Lord Shiva like personalities, and therefore we have been able to touch the moon of this good fortune. Otherwise we will not be eating the prasad that we have today, honoring the prasad that we have today, wearing the clothes that we have today at 9:15 at night. I'm not reminding you the time, but I'm just saying. At 9:15 at night on a weekday, sitting in dhoti and kurta with tilak and kantimala, listening to Ras Khan's poetry, this would have never been in our case. This is great mercy. We cannot touch the moonbeams. The moonbeams shine on us. What can we do? One paralytic stroke and my tongue will not move. One heart attack and I'm dead on this asana. Where is the pride? It is Krishna who's keeping the coordination going even at this point as I'm saying this sentence. If the Paramatma switches off, I am finished. The body will fall here right now. One accident, spinal cord problem, paralyzed like a vegetable. What can I speak? What services can we perform? So this we should be mindful of. When somebody glorifies us, we should think, this, we have been engaged in this service very kindly. And Krishna is so kind to keep us alive, to witness what we are witnessing today. It is ignorance to not be able to see this. Therefore, pride is ignorance and humility is reality. Murli has a question.
Yes, sir.
Somebody else in the Mataji? Okay.
My question is that you told us how to develop attachment to Lord Krishna, but my question is how do you reduce your attachment to other things like parents or family or like other things?
Who are your parents? Where, Mataji, you can raise your hand. Your daughter is asking a very deep question. How to lose attachment for parents?
I meant like how do you reduce your attachment to like other material like relationships or like things. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitah Janagityasu Vairagyam Jnanam Yacha Haitukam. When devotion for Krishna develops, automatically there is detachment. We cannot develop detachment. Sometimes we think the root problem is attachment. So therefore the solution should be? But it is wrong. Because the soul does not know detachment. The soul only knows attachment. Mahatsevam dvaramahur vimuktes tamodvaram yoshitam sangi sangam. If it attaches itself to this world, there is suffering. If it attaches itself to Krishna, there is only joy. Just like the example can be given, let's think of a fruit on the branch of a tree, a nice fruit. Now let's say if the fruit is green, it's unripe, okay? And I pull it prematurely from the branch of the tree. Do you think it's going to ripen now? Yes? What happens? Let's say the fruit is unripe and it's on the branch of a tree. It's green and unripe. Let's say it's a mango, okay? It's unripe and I pull it from the branch. What do you think happens to the mango? You think it's going to get ripened and juicy and tasty?
No.
No. But however, if you let it be on that branch and the fruit naturally becomes ripe and full of juice, it becomes so heavy in weight that automatically it detaches from the branch. Is this understandable? So when we prematurely detach ourselves from this world and we are still unripe spiritually, it is not going to cause development in spiritual consciousness. But when we advance spiritually and our attachment to Krishna is higher, the juice in the fruit of our heart increases. By that weight, automatically there is detachment from the branch of this world. So we don't have to worry about detachment. We only have to worry about one thing. How can I increase my attachment to Krishna? Do what it takes to increase your attachment. Hear about Krishna, read about Krishna, chant about Krishna, worship Krishna, associate with devotees who bring out that best in you. That is the perfection of Vaishnava association. Is that okay? How old are you?
I'm
16. At 16, even in my wildest dream, I didn't have this question. When I was 16 years old, my main stress, my main question was, I hope Sachin Tendulkar doesn't retire so quickly. That was my main anxiety. And at your age, at 16 years old, when the world is going nuts, your main question is, how will detachment come in life on the path of attachment to Krishna? All glories. Very impressed. May Krishna protect you. Yes, one Mataji has raised her hand. Maybe we'll put it on the microphone, Mataji, so I will be able to hear you clearly.
Haribol,
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
when you said Krishna looks beautiful when he's covered with the mud, so usually when the parents come to pick up the children, even if they have a little bit of mud in their dress or the hand, they get very mad. Why are you mad? Why are you so dirty? Why did you touch the mud? Right? Generally, negative connotation for anything with the mud.
Yeah.
So how can I imagine the beauty of mud covered Krishna? How can I feel that?
Shastra describes that Mother Yashoda dresses Krishna very sweetly. See, one thing is to be understood. Different things in Vrindavan are stimulus, uddipan, for different people in different rasas, in different moods. Mother Yashoda also doesn't like Krishna covered in dust. And you are seeing Krishna like how a mother would see the child. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu describes different things are uddipans or stimulants for different relationships. Like for example, when someone is in Shantarati, like a yogi for example, he will get stimulated by seeing caves. He will get stimulated by seeing long hair and dreadlocks. But someone in maternal mood like Mother Yashoda is not going to get stimulated by seeing caves. She's not going to get stimulated by seeing dreadlocks and long beard. She's going to get stimulated by seeing the toys of Krishna. Does that make sense? So you are seeing from how a mother would see the child through the example that you gave. So even Mother Yashoda has a problem when Krishna is covered by dust. Panca vishikta sakala vayamam vilokya damodaram vadati kopa vashat Yashoda tvam sukarosi gata janmani putarare. Krishna comes dust covered with dust. Mother Yashoda dresses him so beautifully with chandana charachita neela kalevara. She dresses Krishna so beautifully, like the pollen spots on a blue lotus flower. That's how Krishna is when Mother Yashoda dresses. He goes into the forest, removes all of that, and comes with dust completely. Dry mud, wet mud mixed with cow dung, cow urine. Hands are dirty, feet is dirty, dress is dirty, face is completely covered, and he closes his eyes and he comes in front of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda opens the door. Who is this? Krishna opens his eyes. It's me. So panca means mud. Panca vishikta sakala vayavam vilokya. Looking at baby Gopal covered with dust. Damodaram Vadati kopavashat Yashoda. Yashoda in anger looks at Damodar and says, Tvam sukarosi gata janmani putanare. In your past life, were you a pig? Sukar? Krishna looks at Mother Yashoda. Yes, Mama, I was Varahadev. How did you recognize me? Mother Yashoda said, oh, any story you tell him, next day he will come and say, I am that. You tell him a story about Ram, he will bring something from the forest, one big stick, and he will say, I am Ram. You tell him the story of Nashinga, he will smile, he will say, I am Nashinga. You tell him the story of Varaha, he will say, I am Varaha. Krishna is saying, no, really, I was a pig in my past life. And old habits die hard. What you practice from past lives, Purva Janma Samskar carries for a long time. So Krishna is saying, in my previous life, I was Sukar. In Sanskrit, to sniff, this is called Su. Sum Su Karoti Iti Sukara. That incarnation of Varahadev who went in Garbhodaka, doing this is Sukar. So Krishna is telling Mother Yashoda, from past life I have samskar of jumping into mud. How do I tell you, how can I overcome that? Echo. Spiritual world, even mobile phones are persons. There's some sound coming from the altar. So the point is, Mother Yashoda was also unhappy. But listening to that, Ityukta Sasmita Mukho Vatuno Murari. Murari is smiling. But it is a fact that Krishna looks beautiful with that mud. Is that okay? Thank you for that motherly question. Yes, another mother.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I had a question from yesterday's class actually.
Yeah.
About we need lots of blessings from Srimati Radharani to even go to Vrindavan, right? And we have desire to go to Vrindavan, but in what circumstances? You said one is when you're older and when you're really tired, then you can go. But in what circumstances exactly can you just say, okay, I'm leaving and going to Vrindavan? Of course, Krishna has to approve that, but does he create those circumstances for us to happen, or we have to proactively just say leave everything and go? Is that okay?
The main thing is, Vrindavan is a place of service. Krishna Das ei Vishwas korle to ar dukha nahi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, till the time we don't serve, we will not overcome our problems. Whether we live in Seattle or Mars or Vrindavan, we can go wherever we want. You see, Hiranyakashipu, the benediction that he asked for, that I should not be killed in the air, nor in the land or water, not inside the house, outside the house, not during the day, not during the night, neither by an animal nor by a human, neither by hand nor by weapon. What does this mean? This is the representation of false ego. False ego cannot be destroyed whether in Vrindavan or in Seattle. Inside the house or outside the house. Cannot be destroyed in the air, in a flight, or in the water, or on land. It cannot be destroyed day or night. It cannot be destroyed, false ego. Even living in Vrindavan, we can be in Maya. The main thing is service to Krishna. He who is serving, if you can go to Vrindavan to serve, and as a grihastha, if you and your husband are on the same page, and if you have chalked out your finances, your children education, your home, etc., etc., and if you have active service, sadhana for yourself and service to Prabhupada's movement, then wonderful, you can be anywhere. In fact, you don't even have to go. Temple is ready here. But the main thing is service. Being in Vrindavan, if you're able to serve, according to your capacity, either as a teacher or as a doctor at a hospice, or maybe in some restoration of a Leela Sthali, whatever it may be, serving according to our inclination and our ability, God-gifted ability, then it is perfect. But to give up prematurely when husband and wife, if let's say if they are not on the same page, then these things are detrimental. These things are detrimental. So it's best that, since you're asking me, this is my thought process, that the best thing is one goes to Vrindavan maybe 1 month a year. 11 months you can be here, or wherever you're serving, you're working, but 1 month we should make sure we go. Then if you have more inclination, you can try to go 2 months or 3 months, but stay here 9 months, instead of making that jump. And then when slowly and gradually you feel, without disturbing grihastha responsibilities, services, community, family life, sadhana, without staking any of that, then we can take steps. However, there are devotees who will also tell you, "Oh, kabhi nahi aayega Mataji," it's now or never. That camp is also there. So I don't say that is wrong. If you ask them, they may say that, and that may also be right. But if I am in your situation, I will not do it. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Prabhuji.
There is a third camp which says, "This is Vrindavan, where you are. Stay here."
That camp is also there.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I think Prabhupada, as Jagat Guru, has demonstrated so much,
Correct.
By coming over from India across all the oceans through their heart attacks and so on. But still, I think going back to the earlier point about his complete humility to the parampara. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Srila Prabhupada's humility towards the parampara?
Yeah, in terms of how, even though he himself,
Correct.
for us,
Yeah.
he is the front face, but how he
viewed in humility the hand of this. Yeah, actually, in one room conversation, one devotee told Srila Prabhupada that, "Prabhupada, you are the best preacher." Srila Prabhupada said, "No, my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada is the best preacher." So then, Prabhupada did not pause there. He continued. He said, "For my preaching, I had airplanes." He said, "My Guru Maharaj, without airplanes, built 64 temples in India." He said, "If my Guru Maharaj was given airplanes, instead of 108 temples, he would have built 1008 temples. Prabhupada said. And he said, "I also tried in India, but I could not." He said, "My Guru Maharaj did it in a place where I couldn't. And he did it without airplanes." So Prabhupada was not simply saying it on the tongue. He's teaching us that to feel it with our heart. To feel it our heart. Is that okay? Okay. It's about 9:30 now, so maybe we should do some kirtan. Is that okay? Perfect questions, imperfect answers. Gaur Premanande.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we'll now proceed to Kirtan. But before that, let's express our gratitude to His Grace Amarendra Prabhu for walking us through the glories of Vrindavan yesterday and today. The first tattva, which is Vrajraj, right? How we should take the shelter of Vrajraj. So let's express our gratitude and thank His Grace Amarendra Prabhu by loudly chanting Hari Bol 3 times. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So like yesterday, Amarendra Prabhu will come amongst us and he will do the people.
Melody is good. You know, Hardat one said not to last time. Again, we don't want to hear saying that. Raj Raman, Raj Kripa.
ब्रजरज भी आया है.
ब्रजराज कैसे मिलेगा?
अभी बांटना है.
थोड़ा दे दो.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So since Prabhu said the glories of Brajraj, so Brajraj is also manifested, which is it is not tainted with Maya, it is from the foothill of Govardhan. So I would request senior devotees like Damodar Prasad Prabhu, Madhav Chandra Prabhu, Amritanand Prabhu to distribute the Brajraj to all of you.
इधर दे दो.
So humbly request everybody to please sit down. Bosun, kurjo, Makarando, बैठिए.
కూర్చోండి.
We just have two more dangas. We'll have Bhavik and Yuval Kirtan. Two more dangas. Two more dangas. Bhavik and Yuval Kirtan. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Bhaktivinoda Srivasadi Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Hare
Now that the kirtan is over, I can come. Somebody will sing.
Hare Krishna, that's a wonderful Sankirtan after a long time.
Hari
I know what Prabhu's schedule is. If you can come for December 31st Harinam Sankirtan festival here, that will be awesome. He always reserves this time, December 31st. Yeah, so we want Prabhu to come again and again. December 31st, we generally have Harinam Sankirtan festival. So if you can come, Prabhu, if you can make your schedule, then it will be awesome. So everybody say Hari Bol! Five more prayers probably will convince Prabhuji to come here. And today also we know one dear devotee's birthday here, Arjuna Sakha Prabhu. We know that he is the mentor and guide and inspiration for all the youth, as well as youth like us, also here. Many people join the morning japa, and also all the kids wonderfully like guided by Prabhu. He took it up as voluntary this thing, and we just we know how much you love. So this is actually really awesome. Both the brothers are part of the Seattle Yatra. We will consider Amarendra Prabhu also part of our Seattle Yatra. Thank you, Prabhu, for wonderful first Panchatattva, first one. Tomorrow we will be looking for two more. Hare Krishna. Take rest, and tomorrow morning Mangalarati, again evening our program. Hare Krishna.
Namasoma Jyotirgam.
Now Sattva.
Hare Krishna,
Whatever young? 16, 18. 16. Stuck there. Huh? He's stuck at 16.
Navayogan.
Then we are all.
Then you are 12.
Jai Prabhu.
I just entered the womb.
Exactly. No, here, violin finally.
So we'll end today's session with Arjuna Sakha Prabhu singing Narsimha Arti.
Jai.
Hari Hari Bol.
When he started playing,
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste
नाचो गाओ भक्त संगे करो संकीर्तन आचिरत पावे तुम्ही कृष्णेर चरण बर्थडे पार्टी की
So humble request, we need some volunteers to just arrange back the mic system and roll the carpet so that we are ready
Morning
for
setup.
tomorrow morning Mangalarti. प्रभु ने बोला ना सेवा में लगे रहो.
बस बस बस
Prabhu, should I turn this off?
Yeah, turn off.
ये करके